These videos were created for all of those people who are currently feeling the financial squeeze of a recession and wondering if they'll ever get the opportunity to create true wealth for themselves and for their family. It's my honest opinion that learning about investing in silver is one of the biggest wealth creation opportunities ever to be presented to the common man and woman in the street. The big problem is that because investing in precious metals is a subject that would immediately turn off the average person with very little money to invest, the opportunity could very likely pass most people and never get on their radar. It's my true desire that this video series bridge the gap between the educated and savvy investor and the everyday person on the street, and enable everyone who watches it to have a good idea of what the primary driving dynamics are that currently make silver the huge potential opportunity that it is. I'm not a trader or investor by profession, but I feel it's my duty to do the best I can to ensure that this information comes to light and gets into the hands of those who need it most. If the content is not technical enough for your personal taste, then I apologize in advance for that and invite you to share the video series with someone you care about and for whom it may be just right. For most people, the idea of investing in silver will sound as crazy as asking them to keep their savings stored as wood shavings. Investing is something that most people associate with trading and banking as opposed to something that normal people do. This means that until an opportunity gets so big that it's on the evening news channel or it's mentioned in their newspapers, they're unlikely to know anything about it, let alone take the time to learn what's required to start taking action with an understanding of why. In this video series, we're going to look at several aspects of silver and why it may now be something that people should take a look at seriously as an investment opportunity. We'll answer some common questions and highlight things that anyone can assess and draw their own conclusions about. There are also some common misconceptions about savings and investments, which means that people who are in the position to take advantage of the current situation may still not have considered something like silver because they've been given, or they've seen on TV, advice which never mentions this. A classic example of this is savings. Now, how many times have you heard people say to put your savings in the form of an ISA or a 401k, but never to invest in precious metals? They're usually telling you this because those forms are tax-free, but they also have a cap on how much you can save. You can usually do the same thing with silver, but with no limit. A tax-free savings vehicle with no limit on how much you can put in. Now, doesn't that sound like something people would tell you about? You'd think so, but they often know nothing about precious metals either and consider them as commodity trading. They won't have learned what you're about to learn about the special situations that make this so great. You could have found this video in any number of ways, and you could be living almost anywhere in the world. Although we're going to cover a lot of important information, some specific things that we're going to mention here may not exist or may be called something different where you are. The aim of this video series is to bring to your attention enough of the important information about this subject to put you in a position to come up with your own plan for your own future. I advise you to seek out people in your area who are knowledgeable and to find local dealers and websites which cater specifically to your geographical location. There are some great dealers around and, as you will discover, having a great relationship with a supplier who can ship to you with low overheads or who you can even visit in person will make your opportunity that much more effective. Paying for shipping costs and transaction fees and import taxes is one of the things that most investors just accept, but they're often an overhead that you can avoid by finding a local supplier. The same goes for selling. Why make your costs and the cost of your buyer higher than they need to be? Silver can be a great investment. You can invest in it with only a few dollars or with more substantial amounts, so there's really nothing to stop the average person from getting involved in what could possibly be the biggest wealth creation opportunity of their life. I've worked hard to make sure the information in this video series is straightforward, easy to follow information, which doesn't require any specialist knowledge. If you're serious about trading in large volumes, you'll probably want to get hold of a specialist trading and investing book or an advisor to focus your efforts even more and to tap into some websites that offer live trading information and stock prices. I'll focus on things that are important and necessary for you to know to be prepared to start from having known nothing previously. An important thing to realize is the fact that silver can potentially be an even better investment than gold. People keep investing in gold because their profit margins are bigger. Just a little bit of gold can be worth $5,000, whereas a handful of silver will only go for a few hundred. We'll also cover some of the terminology that will be useful to you in your journey into silver investing, and we'll highlight some of the possible dangers from investing in coins and bullion. These things are very popular, but they can be hazardous to the inexperienced investor. If you don't know what you're doing, you might end up spending much more on coins and other collectibles than necessary. Again, fear not, we'll cover this so that your money should work for you and not against you. Did you know there is such a thing as bad silver? If you don't know what you're buying, you might invest in silver that's less valuable than you think, which of course is not good for you or your wallet. So we'll talk about the differences between good and bad silver and how to use your money when investing. Hopefully, you'll be able to go out and start investing in silver right away. But if you do have any questions, feel free to contact me via my website at nowinvestinsilver.com. Even if you don't have any questions, feel free to send comments, suggestions, or anything else you'd like to share. I read my messages and emails personally, and I will get back to you. I'm planning to create a Reader's Spotlight section on the website and feature pictures sent in by readers when receiving their silver coins and bars, and perhaps even interview you to share your story too, so don't be shy. If you've been able to take a step back from your busy life and look at what's going on in the world today, you're probably in a state of shock. There are global cartels controlling everything from the media to the banks, and most people are wandering around in a state of hypnosis that the government are looking out for their interests and the media are representing their views. The world's in bad shape right now in many ways, and the financial system is just one of them. Many people have already written much about the manipulations that are going on all around, so I'll try to avoid dipping into those issues as we go. But when you read about the state of the world's financial system, I'm sure you'll wonder if some of the things I tell you are really true. After all, could the governments really let things get so bad? Well, I'm afraid the answer to that is yes, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. So rather than push you straight down the rabbit hole, I'll stick to how things relate to silver and why that's such a good thing. Some of the things that I share with you may be too much for you to accept from your current position. I felt the same way when I was first introduced to some of the things that I now know to be truths of the way that things are done in our world. If you get the urge to delete this video because you think I'm crazy, well, just accept that I'm a normal guy who's just sharing some information and is not trying to make you change your view. I'm just hoping that your mind isn't closed to the possibility of things not being quite how you previously thought. I'm not going to go way out there on this, as there are plenty of people you can find if you look around who will take you down the roads that